Hey, me, Sal here. Weird interrupting my own podcast, but I'm going to do it because it's a very special reason. We have Mets Yankees Subway Series tickets to give away, courtesy of Sachdev Family Orthodontics in Rockland. Right now, we have two tickets, one pair of tickets, Mets Yanks field level tickets. It's the first Subway Series matchup of 2026 out at Citi Field. We'll be giving them away once we get to 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. We're at about 6 right now as we record this. So we're getting there. Ways to go. Games in May. If we don't get there, I guess just Badabooms and I will go. But anyway, a pair of tickets, Mets Yankees Subway Series Friday night, Citi Field, first game of the year between the Mets and the Yankees for 2026. We have a pair to give away once we get to the 10,000 subscribers. Okay, now you can go back to listening. Enjoy the rest of the show. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to check us out. The Mets and their manager. Now, there was more talk about ripping Mendoza to start the year when the Mets hit a little bit of a bump in the road, losing 2 out of 3 in St. I mean, think about what we're talking about here. The Mets won 2 out of 3 to start the year. They lose 2 out of 3 in St. Louis. They lose the first game in San Francisco, and everybody is ready to pounce immediately. They're no good. Mendoza should be fired. I'm fighting off knuckleheads on social media. All I'm saying is relax. Let the guy breathe. He knows what he's doing. I trust Carlos Mendoza, not because I've talked to him and I think he's a good guy, because he's a good manager. I saw him manage his first year here. He did a great job managing this team. So, and even last year, it was not his fault. He wasn't great, but he wasn't at his best, obviously, because when things go wrong to that degree, everybody should take some heat, but it wasn't his fault. The starters gave him nothing. Here's what I love about Mendy so far. Not only is he pushing the right buttons, and in the game against the Diamondbacks that got moved up to the 4 o'clock start, in that game on Tuesday, he did a couple of things that I wasn't so sure about. I would not have pinch hit Jared Young for Vientos. I understood it, and I think his explanation after the game was perfect. Loizaga, and he knows Loizaga from his days with the Yankees. He could be nasty on right-handers, and with the double play in play there with first and third, you need to get that run in from third. You can't have the double play. He felt he had to do it, and I respect that. He wasn't just sitting there he's not afraid to make a difficult decision. That's one of the things I love about Carlos Mendoza. That is a difficult decision. Benching the guy, you probably were with me. We're all thinking the same thing. Oh, come on, you taking Vientos out? He's been one of the best hitters. He's been proven dating back to a couple years ago. I don't even love Vientos, but in that spot, I'm like, man, I'm not so sure I would do this. Matter of fact, I wrote it in my notes. I wouldn't do this here. Before the result, I would not take Vientos out for Jared Young. And I like Young, and he's done some good things here. I wouldn't have had the stones to do it in that spot. Mendy did, sac fly for Young, and the Mets tied the game. They ended up going to win the game. So not just the pinch, he did it with Terren's pinch hitting him the other day. He's had the touch as far as the pinch hitting goes. But my favorite thing about Mendy is that he manages with his gut, his eyes and his gut. And he's a baseball guy, so you have to trust it. Here's the best thing so far that he's done. We've alluded to this, starting with Clay Holmes' first start of the year, pushing him to 6 innings, whether it's Senga going deep in the game, Holmes going 7 innings. Peralta needs to give the Mets more length. That was an issue in Milwaukee. Him not giving any length. It was supposed to be, better this year. The expectation was that maybe he could start going 6 or 7 innings into these games this year. The Mets looking at him to be their ace, so maybe he can improve on that. It's cold, very cold today. Opening day. I'm not going to get on him, but Peralta hasn't been great. He's been fine, and he's done winning things that aces do, but he has not been his best self yet. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass early on, while also acknowledging that he does need to get better. But the thing that I loved about Mendy is he's like Peralta, for example, today, he pushes him to the brink. He tried to get him through that inning, tried to get through the 5th inning there. Couldn't do it. It got to the point where the bases are loaded. He's over 100 pitches, whatever it was. You're watching the game. That's it. Peralta's out. You have to go to the bullpen. As opposed to managers preemptively taking out starting pitchers. I always say this about starting pitchers. They should be knocked out of a game, not taken out of a game. It drives me nuts. I know the pitch count and the third time through the order and the analytics. It's all about taking guys out before they could do damage. Excuse me. With Mendy, he's maxing out his guys. Leave no doubt. And he hasn't left him in too long, because sometimes you can leave him in too long trying to, let's just see if we could just push him through this evening, push him through this inning, cross our fingers and hope he could get this one more out. Nope. He gives him the right amount, the perfect amount. See if you could get this batter. We're okay. You can't get that batter. He's toast. I'm going to get the bullpen now. That's what I love about Carlos Mendoza. So far, so good this year. Forget even the prior years. When dealing with the starting pitchers and the bullpen, he has had the perfect feel when to push the starter, when to take him out, when to go to the bullpen guy. It has been, to me, great. And I just love that he did it perfectly, I thought, with Freddy Peralta, trying to push him through that inning, knew he wasn't going to get it, and then got him out of the game. Having his starting pitchers get knocked out. That's getting knocked out of the game, not taking them out preemptively to preserve their arm or their pitches. I understand why people do that in today's day and age. I'm glad that the manager of the Mets doesn't do that, even early on in the season, where you would understand being more cautious. Because, in April or May, we like to say that every game counts, and technically they all do count, but it's more important to have these guys durable and healthy all year long, certainly down the stretch, than it is to push them 6 or 7 innings or beyond that even early in the season, March or April. So the fact that he, though, is sending the message now and setting the tone, Holmes, you're going 6. That leads to 7 the next start. Senga, you're going to plow through this. Peralta, I don't care that you where you're at with the pitch count. Like, we're trying to get you through this inning. I'm maxing you out. I'm not bailing you out. Battle through this. I love that Carlos Mendoza has done that so far to start the year. So, really, when you look at both ball clubs, nobody picked on the Yankees after the offseason. We know about the offseason. But to start the year, they've been on fire. That remains the same. And with the Mets, people are starting to doubt them. They've turned the corner. They've now won 4 straight ball games. Their record is good. They are officially off to a good start, 7-4 through 11 games. Nobody's perfect. We know that. And the Mets are doing it without Soto, as a matter of fact. 4-0 without Juan Soto, which shows you, I think it does speak to the depth of this team. The Mets aren't even playing good baseball. I mean, the Mets aren't even playing good baseball. You could say the same about the Yankees as far as them not being whole at all with their starting rotation, and that is true. But the Mets are not playing good baseball. I mean, dropping pop-ups that need to be caught in foul territory, that's inexcusable. Luke Weaver on the mound in extra innings there's a pop-up, and Alvarez looking at him. I don't know what the hell's going on. Weaver looked like the only one who knew what was going on, but he's the pitcher. He gave way to Alvarez. That can't happen. It's garbage. Luis Robert driving me nuts. He gets the count up 3-0, and he takes 3 straight freaking fastballs. What are you doing, bro? Swing the bat. Luis Robert looking for a walk in that spot. No, come on. I respect the plate discipline and changing his approach. So far, so good through the early going. But that's a big at-bat right there. You're up 3-0. You got to be aggressive. You got to, come on. You 3 straight fastballs you're taking, and you get punched out. And he could have challenged one of them. He didn't even know what he was doing with that. He's got to show more confidence, Robert. He's starting to look more confident in the field, thankfully. Maybe he'll get more comfortable. I know people are going to have an issue with this because they think, they look at the numbers and Robert's got a couple of big hits and he's been better than he was with the White Sox. I'm sorry, but I have higher expectations for a guy who's now hitting 4th without Juan Soto than to go up 3-0 in a count in a big spot and to have 3 straight fastballs. You stand there looking at him. Swing the bat, bro. Anyway, that's just one. Defensively, the Mets aren't. Lindor with another error, not to mention what he's done so far this year, which has basically been nothing. They aren't even playing good. Bo Bichette still not anywhere close to where he needs to be. Simeon hasn't gotten going. The Mets have some issues here. They haven't even played anywhere near their best baseball, but yet they're still winning. And I think a lot of that has to be attributed, much like it was last year to the first half success, the pitching. And not just the starting pitch in the bullpen as well. Raley's been lights out. How about freaking Luke Weaver and Devin Williams? I think I saw a stat before, 10 innings pitched for both, 10 strikeouts, no runs. I'm pretty sure that was a stat line. Don't quote me on that. Just look it up. You don't need me to tell you. Look it up. I would look it up, but the setup here, Badabooms tells me, because, when we record this, I'm looking at my main computer right now. By the way, I don't like when I talk with my hands because then you can see the hand so close. It looks a little weird. I'll try not to do that. They told me when I first got into TV, this is a true story. The guy's like, you got Craig Germain, who's a former producer at SNY. He's like, you sit on your hands. Don't use your hands when you're going on TV like that. Don't talk with your hands. I'm like, Anyway, Moose. I have to use my hands. But I'll try to minimize that with the setup. Point is, I'm recording this on my main computer where I would like to have the box score or something up. But then when I do that, the thing gets frozen a little bit. So I tried not to do that as much. Anyway, there you have it. Both teams off to a good start. Makes those Subway Series tickets even more enticing. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe. Come on, don't be lazy. Just subscribe. It's okay.